it's me, Keisha B. Welcome back to Grits and Threads. Welcome back to my channel and another episode of Mass Communication. This will be the third episode. Last episode was the Father's Day edition, and prior to that I actually came to you with a mask on. I am completely done with this mask. It's called the Don't Look at Me mask. So as you can see, it's completely gone. I did use it as suggested. I used it every day, and it actually has an expiration date because it's a fresh product. I also mentioned that you have to keep it in the refrigerator. It said best used by June 27th. I think I finished it probably a couple of days ago, but it didn't like smell funny or do anything extra to my skin that would have caused damage by it being after the expiration date. But I have to say that this product was very good. It made my skin feel very, very soft. As far as the lemon juice being great for discoloration, I didn't notice anything different, but again, after using it for not even a month, I guess I can't really expect too much change, but I do have to say that it made my skin feel very, very, very soft. So I will definitely purchase this again. Again, this is the Don't Look at Me by Lush. This pot was $10.99, and this is 2.1 ounces. So today's mask is going to be a mix of Bentonite Clay and activated charcoal. Bentonite Clay is something that I've been using for a long time. I actually not only use it on my face, but I use it on my hair. And I do have plans to actually make a toothpaste. That's another video. Here's my mix. This is the mix. I used about a half of teaspoon of Bentonite Clay and 1 capsule of the activated charcoal. Now, we're going to make this interactive. I'm going to list the ingredients below. I do want you guys to do your research. A lot of times when we come on YouTube and we tell you something is great, you take our word for it. But do your research in anything somebody suggests to you, because what works for me may not work for you. So I'm going to list the ingredients. I'm going to list where I purchased the Bentonite Clay and the activated charcoal from. But I want you to look up the benefits. I want you to look up if there's anything that you'd like to particularly target by using masks. Look at the ingredients and look at what it specifically targets and if it can help you. If not, don't even waste your time. You want to basically use products that are going to help your skin and provide you some type of benefit. You just don't want to be putting anything on your face and then you break out, and that's a whole nother process. So this is, again, this is the mix, and the conversation today is going to be about humility. First, let me say, I'm just going to take this old foundation brush and I'm going to apply my mask. My face is pretty dewy from me sweating. It's early in the morning, but I'm always sweating. That's no surprise. So I'm just going to take this and start applying it to my, maybe I should take my earrings off. Also, please mix your Bentonite Clay with a plastic spoon, fork, utensil, or wood. Do not use metal because it will tarnish your silverware. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to apply it to my face. So as I was stating, today's conversation is going to be about humility. If you watched my first Mass Communications video, I mentioned to you that I was in the process of having to move out of my apartment. And prior to that happening, I had recently been released from my job. But I realized something. In this happening, I thought I was being very humble. I thought I was being professional. But I realized that I was not thinking about my children. I was thinking about myself, and I was thinking about what I felt was right. And when you are representing for someone else, i.e. your children, because they can't make decisions, sometimes you have to play the game. That's just the real. No one's saying be disrespected. No one's saying put yourself or your children in harm's way. But if you don't like the position that you're in, do more of what will take you out of that. You got to do more of what's going to put you closer to what you want to do, so you can do less of what you don't want to do. And in this example, I had a great job. It was a great paying job. It took me about 6 months to get the job, but in that I was doing my job and not playing the game. Someone that was in a a superior position, which was my supervisor, you know, I just found that, I'm just going to be candid with you. Let's talk about it. Let's be real. She was very unprofessional. Let's call a thing a thing. At times, she made some very unprofessional comments about a lot of the staff. However, I didn't participate in it, and I don't think she was looking for someone to work. I think she was looking for someone to be friends with, and to be honest, to be catty with. I wasn't there for that. In my action of trying to be right, I lost out. I lost out big time because I wasn't thinking about my children. My biggest lesson in losing my job was realizing that it's not just about you anymore. Going to work, doing your job, and doing a good job at your job, okay? I was recognized and received accolades for my performance. On a personal level, I didn't play the game. And I'm fine with that, because you know what the biggest thing out of this is? When you know better and you accept it and you make corrections, you can then do better. So that was one situation. I know now the best thing for me to do is be humble at my current job and do more of what's going to help me get closer into my career. I'm very thankful for my job. However, I'm on assignment, and when I say that, God has sent me here to do something else. And I would not want to not honor what He has given me, which is my skill of writing, and not do that. In addition to working, I am writing a book. Stay tuned for it. The next situation was, as I mentioned before, my apartment. My on-site manager happens to be somewhat of a very disrespectful lady at times. Now, I want to say this. I was watching an episode on YouTube of Life Class with Ian Van Zandt and Oprah Winfrey. And there was a woman that was on there. This was a very old episode. There was a woman that was on there. She basically had a secret. And her secret was that she'd had a child at the age of 14. And her mother and father sent her away to like a home until after she had the kid. No one knew it. Her sisters, her brothers didn't know it. But she became very angry over the years. She wanted to let go of this anger, and she realized that she held this hostility toward a lot of people because she had experienced at a young age somebody taking something from her. So she walked around with a chip on her shoulder all the time. When people have a specific attitude that you don't agree with, there's a strong possibility that they could be going through something that you have no clue of what it is. And I say that to say that could be my on-site manager's situation. And I told myself, it's not what happens between you and her, it's how you respond to it. I'm not going to sit up here and be disrespected by this lady. Like, you're not going to think you could just speak to me in any kind of way in a belittling tone and think that it's okay. Anyway, let me just pay my rent and slip my rent through her mail slide. We don't have to have any interaction. I know when you come and go, so I know how to call you when you are not at home and leave a message on your voicemail. So this particular day that happened a couple of months ago was just the last straw. I mean, it had just got completely out of hand. I decided to contact the owner in a professional and assertive tone. Told him about everything that I wanted to tell him since I had my first negative encounter with her. He decided to give me a 60-day notice to vacate. And I told myself at that point, you don't want to ever be in a position like this again, because you need to be working more towards owning your own home. That way nobody can put you out. But the bigger lesson is where humility should have been inserted. It doesn't matter how you feel about the on-site manager. You still need something, which is your apartment. You need shelter, not only for you, but for your children. Could I not have called him? Absolutely. Could the conversation gone a completely different way and where I was way more humble? Sure. Everything that has happened, everything that will happen, and everything that is happening is already mapped out for you. There's a quote by Hafiz. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. It's either an Arabic or Persian quote. It says, this place where you are right now, God circled on the map for you. That means that everything that you're going through right now and it's very important to remain in the present. This is already written. These are the things that you're supposed to be going through in order to help you on your journey. These lessons are basically maps and detours, and these trials serve as, you know, I guess like little cliffs notes to help you along the way. Now you can either react in an irrational way to them, or you can just accept what has happened and just move forward and do better. That's basically it. You always get a choice. Your choice is the biggest thing in life. If you don't like your job, you can choose to leave. Now, realistically, you have bills. Realistically, you have a family to take care of. Realistically, you have to eat. But you're here on assignment with a skill. Do more of that. You don't want to be overweight? Do more of less eating. It's that simple. Anyway, in this, humility has been the biggest thing. My cousin called me the morning of. I was getting ready to submit this letter to the on-site manager about this whole ordeal. It was professionally written because I am a writer, and I threw some big words in there, and it was about 2 to 3 paragraphs of just detailed information. And the biggest thing she said to me, which turned everything around: you need something from these people, but more importantly, you need God to show up. And so you need to humble your heart. Don't be ugly. You're highlighting everything that they've done wrong, and you need something from them. At that moment, Control N, new page. Let's start this all over again. Now see, this is what I could have done. I could have said, you know what, Mo, which is my cousin's name, I love you. I'm just going to go ahead and submit this letter, you know, because they need to know this, X, Y, and Z. But you know what? I listened to her. She said that God put it on her heart to call me. She said she was glad that she was obedient. So how would I look going against the grain and saying, I'm just going to submit this letter? I know that humility needed to be inserted because it was not about me. I've chosen to be very candid with this story because one of my prayers is for God to use me. When things like this happen, I am in my feelings. I'm emotional. I feel like when my anger arises to the top, it's valid, but I'm human. But I also don't have to live in that. So I'm saying all this to say to you or whomever is listening, this situation could be useful to you. If you know somebody that's going through it, or if you yourself is going through it, take a step back and assess your part in it. Make a wise decision to correct it. At the end of the day, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And then you start to work from there. Stay positive, stay faithful. These days are very fleeting, so it's pointless to be unhappy in a situation, in a place. When you try to work against reality, you will suffer. You will suffer, truly. Don't do that. Don't do that. What's going to be will be. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I am hoping, now this may sound a little crazy, but I am hoping that I have more of these type of experiences so I can provide or lend a word to somebody that may be going through this. Truly I do. Because nothing makes me feel better than to not only go through something, but to realize what part I played in it and to make a correction. You can say, oh, I'm going through this sucks. But you can say, I'm glad to go through this. You know, because why not me? Not why me, but why not me? Let me get the lesson. So in that, I can lend an experience to somebody that I've gone through that can actually help them. God is working on me, on us. So we need to be cognizant of that, and we need to accept these situations as lessons. Be humble. Be humble. It's not always about you. And as my good friend Kalila would say, you can either be right or you can have peace. So that's my story. I hope that you guys will come back to Grits and Threads for another episode of mass communication. This mask is lightweight dry. You can see the gray areas. It's going to tighten up and I probably won't be able to talk. But I think that the activated charcoal has kind of like loosened it up a little bit. My son is telling me that he has to use the bathroom. So I'm going to have to go. All right, come on, baby. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi?
Hi.
Okay. Once again, thank you guys so much for coming back. Stay tuned for another episode of Mass Communication. I don't know what that next episode will be about, but trust and believe that these conversations will be very beneficial. They're not only helping me, but I'm hoping can help you with me being as candid and open as possible. You don't never know who you're going to help. So, God, just please continue to use me. Bye.